Peace, 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 peace. What is going on, world? Welcome to another episode of Substantial Weekly. It has been a while. Hopefully, y'all are getting the sound and everything is coming through nice and clean. Do me a favor in the chat. Let me know if everything is good. Because, yeah, it's been a month. You know what I mean? As my mama would say, it's been a month of Sundays, so we got to remix it and say a month of Fridays. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, we got a special show for y'all today. Man, got a special guest. Got my brother Jay Live, who's going to be joining us in a second. Just real quick, first things first, man, this is your first time to the show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit the like button, drop a comment, all of that good stuff. Definitely join the live chat, man. We got a great family over here. I have missed y'all, you know what I mean? But what's been dope is with all these shows that have been happening, all the things that's been keeping me away from doing this. The dope thing is I've gotten to meet a few of y'all in person. You know what I mean? So that's been amazing, with all the traveling and all that good stuff. But real quick, let's make sure this is up here. And then shout out everyone in the chat. Shout out to Early Bird. Good to see you up in here, bro. See you next week. Happy Mochi in the building. Good to see you, sis. Sorry I missed you in LA. Josh, what's going on? Joshua McGee in the building. Kais, peace to you. Warpath, man, it's good seeing you as well. It was great to meet you in person finally in Chicago. Ousted, peace, fam. Good to see you up in here as well, man. Yo, so we're gonna get into it. Again, like, subscribe, share. That's an important one as well, man. Like, why keep the goodness to yourself? Stop being selfish. You know what I mean? So let's invite our special guest in. Let's get him in here. Let me make sure the proper backgrounds and things are set up so it don't look all crazy when I bring the brother in. 1 second. Cool. Got that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone show your love for my brother Jay Live. All right.
Peace.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you feeling, man?
Good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you coming through great. Bless you. God bless.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Hopefully you're not allergic to the show. We'd hate to have that. Yeah, man. Yo, so everybody, everyone here, if you do not know who we're talking to, Jay Live is a legendary indie hip hop artist. Been in the game 30 years. We are celebrating 30 years of this brother doing what he does. Currently on tour. You've been touring with Ed O.G., correct?
I got some shows coming up with Ed O.G. actually tonight in Boston.
Yes. Yeah. That's what's up. I already heard from a couple homies out in Boston. Shout out to my man Quan. I think him and the homie Aztec, who you met when we were in Atlanta, they're planning on coming through tonight. Yep. So, yeah, man. But, yeah, man. Besides some of the things we just mentioned, this brother is not only an amazing MC, but a DJ / turntablist as well. If you know his catalog, man, you may have seen the Bragging Rights song / routine that he does. And if you haven't, Google's your friend. Go on YouTube. You want to see that. It's an amazing thing. And if you come to the show that we're doing next week in Virginia, you get to see it live and in person. So everybody, once again, show your love for Jay Live, man. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm currently in Providence, Rhode Island right now.
Okay.
Had a show last night at an amazing venue called Troop. And then on my way to Boston, rocking with Ed O.G. and a bunch of other amazing artists at Middle East. That's tonight, you know what I'm saying? And then right back to Providence to DJ, so
wow.
Triple threat working working wonders as it is,
Yeah.
Show when they're coming back 2 days later to DJ in the same spot. That's a rare treat. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. That's dope, man. Yeah, so I guess a couple questions. So one, I know you've been at it a very long time, man. Like, what has been, I guess, some of the highlights of your journey? So many times, people talk about, of course, the ups and downs of it all, but like, being in the game as long as you have, I'm sure you've seen so many valleys and peaks. And so what are some of the highlights you feel like in your career? What are the things that you've loved most about this journey?
I think primarily the highlight has been excuse me, sharing my music with the world and getting the kind of feedback from listeners and fans that I submit as a listener and fan of this music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fancy myself a songwriter above all else because, you know, throughout the course of developing my skills as an MC, you know, I went from writing verses to writing songs. And, you know, so when people talk about, you know, what songwriters do you compare yourself to? I don't just compare myself to MCs. I compare myself to songwriters, you know. So
part.
To have, you know, growing up on everything from Sade to Stevie Wonder, you know, to what have you, as well as the great MCs of history, and to go around the world and be able to do shows and talk to people hand to hand, individually, face to face, and have them say that, you know, certain songs have touched them the same way songs have touched me over the years. That's pretty much the main thing, you know what I mean? Besides being able to get to travel the world as an artist, you know, it's taken me from everywhere from Reykjavik, Iceland to Tasmania. I got a frog in my throat. You gotta excuse me. But
you good, bro.
But yeah, so being able to travel, being able to, you know, rock crowds, being able to, you know, be an inspiration to artists that have had long-standing careers in their own right, and, you know, have them tell me that, you know, I was one of the artists that they came up listening to. That's definitely one of the highs right there as well. Continuing to do that for younger artists that are coming up. You know, there's certain artists that I consider my lunch table, so to speak, you know, my cafeteria table. You know, like I just did a show in Brooklyn with Queen Heroine of the Juggernauts, and you know, the whole Juggernauts was there. You know what I'm saying? Cats like Mr. Complex, cats like, I mean, you name it, Asher Rule, you know, cats like yourself, you know what I'm saying, that have been doing it for, you know, damn near generations. We got grown kids now, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, man, I'd say that's the high, absolutely.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, real quick, for those who don't know, right, like how I got introduced to J Live first was through your music, and that was because around the time me, Tone Deaf, Pac FM, and Session did an album as a group called Extended Fam. The project was called Happy FU Songs, right? And there was a track on there called Line Drop, where we basically rapped over the theme music from Tetris. And so the theme, like, was basically every time a line dropped in the song, just like the game of Tetris, the track gets faster. And so, you know, we do our best to be as innovative as possible. So we're like, man, ain't nobody doing this. Ain't nobody doing anything like this. And almost any time we played that song for someone who knew who you were, they was like, yeah, oh, this is kind of like the J Live joint. It was like, what? Who's this J Live person? Who's this guy? You know what I mean? And, you know, right. So, man, so we hear the track. I finally hear the track, and I'm like, this is kind of fire. This is kind of fire. You know? But, bro, like, so for all of the audience that's watching right now, if you do not know who J Live is, man, there's a lot of projects to look up. But the track I'm referring to, I want to make sure I'm saying the name as Them That Know, right?
Them That's Not.
Them That's Not. That's right. That's right. This,
you know, the old God Bless the Child that's got his own.
Yes, yeah.
So it's like the concept is them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose, but God bless the child that can write his own rhyme, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know,
man.
It's funny that you mentioned your song because whenever, you know, for a while, and rest in peace to Gifted Gab of Black Alicious.
Yeah.
But a song that came out around the same time as Them That's Not, I'm probably going to butcher the title as well, but I believe it's Alphabet Acrobatics or Alphabet Aerobics.
Yeah.
They speed up and slow down as well. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You know, there's nothing new under the sun, and great minds think alike. I just talk it.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Yeah, no, it's it's a fire song, man. And I think to any of the people who rock with me, who've loved, like, you know, the use of jazz like over the years in my music, if for whatever reason, if you still haven't heard J Live, and you love me for what I do in my choice of production and the subject matter, it's like, hey man, we a part of that same lineage. Like, go listen to this man's music, because it's very much like, it's not that you only use the jazz samples, and like it is even influenced your cover art and things like that. Like your one album where it's like the looks like the Coltrane cover and stuff. You know, yeah, man. And so I definitely challenge everybody who's here, if you really haven't done a deep dive in his catalog, man, you're in for a treat. You know, like, I'm grateful that that comparison happened, because that's how I found your music. You know what I mean? And yeah, and then, you know, fast forward, how we finally met in person was like, funny enough, thanks to our same crew. So instead of extended fam, it was because of shout out to Cunning Linguist, when you were touring with them. And so we ended up doing the show together in VA. So now, like, next week's like a full circle moment, right? Yeah, man. And yeah, so we met there. You were touring with them, and I think that was my first time seeing you do Bragging Rights live. And I was just like, all right, man, like, why you trying to make it so much harder for us? You know what I'm saying? Yo, so how did, like, what inspired you to come up with the concept for Bragging Rights? You know what I mean?
Well, as it happened, I was introduced to the industry in high school with an internship with this brother that had, you know, pretty much just an in-house production company. He was a record collector, guitarist, and a producer. He's actually the dude playing the guitar on She Watched Channel Zero on Public Enemy's album.
Wow.
By the name of George Summers. So, you know, the internship lasted a few years where he was working with artists, and, you know, I was getting, you know, meeting engineers, learning the ropes of the studio. By the time I was in college at SUNY Albany, I'm like, man, you got beats, I got rhymes, you know, let's put something out. So he takes out this break, and the break sounds amazing. But I'm like, okay, the drums are tight, guitar is tight, the bass line's tight, there's percussions in there. It doesn't really need to add anything. And, you know, this is around the Shiny Suit era, you know, 95.
Right.
So I didn't want to just loop it and be done with it. So I was like, you know what? If I go back and forth with it on the turntables, if you got two of them, then I can rap over that, and it'll be at least some, you know, there'll be some semblance of creativity to the production. You know what I'm saying? Because everything here sounds amazing. So I did that, and then rapped over it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, someday, imagine if I was able to do them both at the same time. So fast forward, I'm doing a show. I'm opening for I did a few shows at SUNY Albany at the, you know, the Rec Center, the Rack, and I was either opening for Fugees, KRS, or Redman. I'm not sure which show was first, but and it might have been a combination of. But I'm working, you know, in my dorm room with my man Omar, who was gonna DJ the set for me, and I'm trying to show him how I want him to cut up the song, and he's supposed to bring it in on the guitar, and he keeps bringing it in on the drum roll. So I'm like, okay, now let me show you how I want it to sound. So I'm cutting it up, and I'm rapping along so he can hear and have a reference of how I want it to sound when I'm rapping.
Wow.
And at, you know, mid-verse, I'm like, you know what? I guess I can do it. You know, I'll just do this with myself. And I've been doing it myself ever since, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And, you know, since then, I've added things. You know, I've done other songs behind the turntables. Like, sometimes I'll break down the sample instead of playing the actual beat. Sometimes I'll play the beat of a song and just, you know, beat juggle it. So I've added things to it. I kind of do like these different medley routines now where, like, you know, DJ Premier produced the title track of my first album, The Best Part. So sometimes I'll go into the best part. I'll start out with the original beat and then just do like a medley of different DJ Premier beats, or, you know, so that it's evolved since then, and especially with the way technology is with these controllers now, you can kind of manipulate things a little bit. But back then, starting out, man, I had the little Janet Jackson mic with the headset, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I used to have like stacks of records and then switch records and like read the label and find, you know, needle drop and what that all while rapping and stuff. So it's definitely taken on a life of its own. So it's been a lot of fun over the years, you know?
Yeah, man, that's crazy, bro. Crazy. Once again, man, if you're just tuning in, we're with J Live. J Live is, you know, great MC, better human being though, man. Like, one of the things I love about whenever we link up, man, or just quick catch ups, man, like, we always have great conversation. I always feel like I learn something new, whether it's about you or you put me onto a better shoe to wear. You know what I'm saying?
Likewise,
man. Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And and similar, another thing that we have in common with both of us being fathers, man, we're both raising young artists as well, man. Yeah. So, like, how has that been? Like, I feel like we're in a unique position where, because we are people who've been able to see some success, like doing what it is we love to do, doing our passion, creating art and stuff. How has it been, like, raising young artists?
It's been amazing, man. It's been amazing. I have 3 children that are all no longer children, and my youngest, my son, he's aspiring producer, and it was funny when he first got into it. I'm showing him how to use Ableton, and he's basically like, I end up just being tech support. You know what I'm saying? Like once he had the ropes, he's like, all right, now get out of my way. Let me do my thing.
Right.
I'm here for it. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get out of your way, let you do your thing. And then hours, days, he might pop in like, hey, I'm having trouble with this, and this, and I'm like, all right, you gotta do X, Y, and Z. He's like, all right, cool, all right, now get out of my way again. You know what I'm saying? And it's dope. Right. And I've watched him blossom. And like, I told him just the other day, I'm like, you have managed to develop a sound of your own that, like, if I heard this in the mix of a whole bunch of other things, I'd know it was you. And mind you, he's still in, like, what I call his rhyme book phase, where like that internship I mentioned, we're talking about the age of 17 that I started an internship, but I'd been writing since I was 12. So, I had a good 5 years of rhyme books, before I even thought about putting out a record, you know what I'm saying? And in that tradition, he's not really focused on putting out music right now. He's just doing it to do it, which is a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? I commend him for that. Like, I'm still, we talk about, what it would be like, but I'm not rushing any of them in any regard. And his oldest sister has been an amazing writer for years, be it poetry, prose, you know what I'm saying, short stories. She actually, like, won short story competitions, and is an active kind of video essayist as it stands right now, doing great things. And the other sister, between photography and videography, she's very active, very talented, you know what I'm saying? So to see all of these, to see these children bloom and blossom the way they have, and know that they have a resource in me in terms of, insight and guidance, but at the same time, the same way I was pretty kind of autodidactic with it.
Right.
They're taking that initiative to do their thing. You kind of just gotta sit back and be there for them when they need it, but let them do their thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, pivot real quick. You've worked with, like, a ridiculous amount of notable people and stuff. I think one of the people that it's funny, like, after I left New York, you kind of fell off my radar for like a brief period of time, but then I was working with Odyssey, and I saw that y'all had a joint together. I saw that he was on your project, and yeah, exactly, and that, like, really, like, made me get back into listening to you. And then, of course, when you started linking with Cunning Linguist and appeared on their project, I think it was that Beyond the Sun track. Yeah. But like, who have been some of, like, your favorite people to work with over the years?
Oh man, that's a whole nother podcast. It's a long
I know, right? If you had to do a top three,
top three, that's, we're talking about features. Like, we're not talking about touring. We're talking about just, like, going.
Yeah,
like,
features.
You know what? Some of my favorite. I guess experience-wise, it's all been amazing. A lot of the times I'm working out of my home studio. The few times that I've worked outside of my home studio to do a feature, I'm trying to remember, man. But okay, I'll just go by my top three favorite features personally.
Okay.
Oh, one's gonna have to be Handsome Boy Modeling School with Yan the
Yeah.
Automator and Prince Paul. That's on The Truth. Putting that verse down with them. Always working with Prince Paul. I've done a few things with Prince Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Working at D&D Studios before it was headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
With Premier doing the best part. That was an amazing experience.
Crazy.
And then third, I'll say, just because it's one of my favorite features, doing Enough with Homeboy Sandman and Curious on Homeboy Sandman's record.
That was a hard record. That was a hard record.
That's one of my favorite verses. You know what I'm saying? But there's tons, man. Like I guess honorable mention, I say, doing Eyes on Your Own Paper with Mega Ran, or you know what I'm saying, like songs with. I've done a few songs with DJ Newmark from Jurassic 5. Those will come out really cool. Actually, one of my favorite songs to do live, just because I play with the crowd the way it starts. So yeah, man, I'll stop there. But there's definitely no shade to any of the unmentioned.
Yeah.
Features, you know what I'm saying?
Right. This is what we call good problems. It's like, man, you done so much dope stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, where do I start? You know?
Right.
Yeah, man. No, oh man. Was it for a second? I got. Oh no, I know what I was gonna say. One of my favorite J Live moments that you weren't necessarily physically there for, but just seeing your name up on that screen, and not seeing the screenshot later, but seeing it in real time, watching it with my family, bro. Yeah, man. The Hip Hop 50 joint that they did, I think it was at the Grammys, right? And they have all these names up on the screen in terms of like notable people, some that most people would know, and then a lot that like were had very pivotal roles at different times in hip hop at different levels and stuff like that. And seeing your name up there in that moment, man, and shout out to Questlove, who I think put together that whole performance and all of that. And dude, like it was really, really dope to see, because Tone and I, me and Tone Deaf, we have this conversation all the time about sometimes our frustration with seeing us being kind of written out of the history of the culture. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mainly because we didn't have hit records per se, right? Or we weren't the most popular. We didn't have we preceded the whole going viral thing, right? So it's like for us to still be around is a feat in itself, right? And be active, touring, making dope music and all of that. But bro, it was it felt really, really good to see that, man. Just see you get your flowers and all of that. So I just kind of want to know, like, how did did you know that was happening, or like did you?
Yeah, I saw it after the fact. Somebody sent me a screenshot, and I kind of just ran with it and shared it, and thank Questlove as well. But yeah, I think it was one of them things, man, because the Hip Hop 50, that was it was ongoing throughout the year, and it was beautiful to see. So to have all of those artists on that stage in that moment at such a huge platform as the Grammys, and then to have all of these artists on the wall recognized and acknowledged for all to see, whether you're in the crowd or watching on TV. And I noticed a lot of names, as well as myself, that I'm so happy to see them get their flowers in that regard.
Yeah,
I think, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a name on the wall, but for me, it really did mean something. You know what I'm saying? It definitely did. I definitely appreciated the acknowledgement and the recognition on such a huge stage and platform. And I'm always appreciative whenever somebody wants to take the time out to do that, because I think there was another, and it's not as big or whatever, but my man Q Unique from the Arsonist had this really, really dope IG post saying, salute to all who are, doing the tour circuit and doing all of these huge events, and all of the pioneers and all of the legacy artists in terms of Hip Hop 50. But he wanted to put some paint where it ain't, and he ran down a list of names of all the underground artists. I'm talking about not just my cafeteria table, but like the whole campus, so to speak, if you want to extend the analogy. Because I mean, there's so many And if you're a record collector and a lover of hip hop, you know, chances are you because that was the format. You know, we were putting out indie records, we were on college radio, we were in small publications. You know, this was before Double XL had like a freshman class. You know, I was in the Unsigned Hype. I was in Next on Vibe magazine, things of that nature. But like you're talking about magazines going away at a dinosaur, and all of the artists in those magazines going away at a dinosaur. And you know, like we have survived and thrived through eras. You know what I'm saying? We're talking the college radio era, the Gavin Charts era, the blog era. Now I got people, you know, millennials talk about the blog era like it's ancient history, and I'm just like, man, I was here before the blog era, during the blog era, felt a little passed over during the blog era.
Yeah, super real.
Fact, you know what I'm saying? Because not, you know, there were certain blogs that were bigger than others, and even that was like big fish, little fish. Because my thing was, it's like, okay, you're gonna have publications that are looking for artists larger than the publication to get some notoriety to the publication. And you're going to have artists smaller than the publication looking for notoriety from the publication to get on. So it's all this big fish, little fish politics thing. And that's sort of what, you know, as things got corporatized and gentrified, that's just how it happens. But yeah, man, I'm appreciative of all the flowers, you know, while I can smell them. And definitely want to carry on tradition. That's kind of my mission as a DJ, is to shed light on these kind of things and you know, show love to the new younger artists that are doing it, you know, in the tradition that we do it, and also call back to the artists that even they don't know about because they weren't, you know, they weren't active, they weren't alive, they weren't, you know, adults at that time. So we got, you know, it's our job, you know, it's oral history. We got to do it because if we don't, who else is going to do it? Because there's no money in it.
Yeah, man, 1000%, bro. Like, I think of it's funny, man, like what you're saying, and this kind of ties into something I just saw Tone commenting on, where they're talking about like podcasting, right? And how it kind of took off and became a thing. And this kind of connects with what we were saying about the whole being written out thing. And, you know, they were just kind of, they were giving Nori his flowers for what he's done with Drink Champs and how him, Joe Budden, have been at the forefront of this thing. And then Nori was kind of just shouting out people who did it before him, you know what I mean? Like Rosenberg and folks of that nature. But like Tone, I love Tone, bro, because I was just like, yeah, man, if we don't speak up for ourselves, it's real easy for people to forget. And I think what's dope is so many of us also do what we can to lift each other up too, you know what I mean? And so that's why us doing the show together, me having you like be a part of today, you know what I mean? Just like, so, and I'm gonna connect back to that podcast point in a second, but I just want to say, oftentimes me, A1, you know, and so many other people get mentioned when we talk about like what they call jazz rap or jazzy hip hop and this, that, and the third. But, you know, people like yourself were blazing this trail. You were on this path. Like before we got here, I was still making demos at home when you already had records out. And shout out to Funky DL doing that, like across the pond, doing that out in the UK in the mid 90s. Y'all, I think y'all came out around the same time. And just seeing the work y'all put in, man, and that foundation y'all laid for us. And, you know, eventually, I mean, it was a big deal when I first had a song that landed on a mixtape that y'all were on. You know what I mean? Like that felt like like major progress, not like a small thing. I might just leave that other point alone because I want to move on to this. I will say that for me, the first time I felt like I was on the verge of making it was when I saw my name come up in the shout outs in the liner notes, right? Like all the songs credited, blah, blah, blah. And then, well, not even when I saw my name. Let me back up. When I saw someone I knew personally that I kicked it with all the time show up in the shout outs of an album. I remember seeing Rock One, shout out to the homie Rock One from New York, in the shout outs of Company Flow's debut album on Rawkus.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, bro, I was so happy for my man. I felt like I made it. But then it connected like, bro, everyone's talking about this album right now. Everyone who reads this album is seeing my man name. I kick it with this dude every day, and he thinks I'm dope. It ain't gonna be much more time. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt. So I want to know from you, what was kind of the moment you knew, like, yo, this is tangible. It's about to be a thing. You know?
Man, I know the exact day, and I tell that story sometimes too. I haven't told it in a while, but I guess I'll start with the ending. I'm in the liner notes of, to your point in terms of liner notes. I'm in the liner notes of The Roots Things Fall Apart.
Crazy.
Where they were talking about one specific night at the knitting factory in New York, the old knitting factory in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And that day started when I went to De La Soul's It's So Easy video shoot. It was at this high school, and they had like the whole food fight scene and everything. And I'm just basically walking through the school. I'm meeting all of my favorite artists and contemporaries and old school cats. So everything from Mohsen Kweli was in there. I was up in there, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And it's like, I step outside and I, look to my right and, you know what I'm saying? Group Home was coming out the bodega, and I'm, we're like, I say what's up to them. And then I look to my left and the Roots are coming down the street. And Questlove start beatboxing Bragging Rights. And I'm like, wow, and Black Thought is like, yeah, man, we having an open mic later, pull up. So I did, and I'm in the balcony area talking with my manager at the time, and somebody runs up on me. He's like, yeah, what's up, man? How you doing, man? A fan of your work, man. Looking forward to hearing you, blah blah blah. And walks off, and my manager's like, yeah, you didn't know who that was, man? That was Elder Sensei. It was just mad dark in there. I didn't recognize
right.
Him. So then I thought it was like, yo, we're gonna have this open mic, all the MCs gathered to the backstage or what have you. And I'm going down the stairs, you know what I'm saying? I see Lord Jamar, and I'm in the waiting area hanging with Bam and Mike, Mike G. Bam wasn't there. But this particular night, it was an amazing night. Mike G jumps on with Thought. They do Straight Out the Jungle. Thought does Bam's whole verse like he wrote it, you know what I'm saying? That was the same night RZA had jumped up and spit this amazing verse about being like a sperm to fertilize the egg.
Yeah.
That was the first night that Erykah Badu performed in New York, you know what I'm saying? And so Thought calls me up on stage and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, J Live. And the crowd goes wild. I'm like, oh, wow, they know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that you talking about the light bulb moment. For me, that was a light bulb moment. It was like, okay, I'm not just going up here to spit a verse. I'm going up here to spit a verse as an artist that people in the crowd actually recognize and appreciate his music.
Yeah.
So that for me was I guess a line in the sand, a line of demarcation, in many ways. So yeah, man. Yeah, I would say that. I'd say that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, brother. One song, I gotta bring this up because I feel like I told you this is like one of my favorite songs from you. Your Mama So Black. Fam.
Oh, Your Mama So Black, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Criminally underrated song from you, man. Yeah, it ain't. I ain't gonna. I'm gonna just tell everybody watching right now. This dude got a lot of music, man. J Live, my brother, got a lot of music, and you're gonna find a lot of joints that you probably love way more than this song right here. But this song, for me, it's like the one. It's man, like yeah, it's definitely the one that made me go from like I liked and appreciated you before. I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't. But when I heard this, I was like, hey man, I rock with this dude. I really felt like, man, you summed up so articulately, man, like just so many things that I feel a lot of times like we try to help people understand, but they just don't get it. And as a dude who was raised by a black woman, raised by black women, plural, I got a lot of sisters and stuff, man. And just like, as a person who's out here, like working with young black women, like in terms of on the team of educators I work with, but also like, mostly serving young black women and stuff when I'm working in the community, like Yeah, bro. It was just really refreshing, man. Like it was a really great song, and I think people spend so much time, you know, just kind of talking about like how hip hop, and they really are talking about rap music, but how rap music has like spent so much time degrading like black women, right? And not enough is said about songs like this that really, really like celebrate like what they really mean to us, what they are to our community, and all of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro, I just wanted to commend you, and I definitely just wanted to shout out that song. So anybody that's listening, especially those of you who like, I mean, you know what the black women in your life have meant to you, and like, yo, you want to hear like a great song that's just like, hey man, like this is who they are. This, yo, like I need you to understand that like how you talking right now, unacceptable. This is who they are. I need you to understand that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. The concept of that song was just basically growing up playing the dozens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are always your mama jokes, right? And it's all in good fun, you know, but at the same time, there's one thing to go, you know, old, ugly, dirty, whatever, stupid. But then, like, this whole idea of your mama's so black, you know, the colorism of it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That never sat well with me. So I was like, a lot of times I'll have a concept and I'll make the title such that the concept is built into it. And I'm like, if the name of the song is Your Mama So Black, when I tell people I got a song called Your Mama So Black, it's gonna give that abrasive, cringy effect. But then when they hear how I flip it on its head, and I'm basically like, these are all the positive things I have to say about your mama because she's so black. And then I get in there, and then when we get into the real, you know, the crux of the lyrics, I'm addressing, you know, not just black, but black and brown. But still in the context of like, you know, my mother was a light-skinned black woman from, you know, born in Tennessee, raised in Indiana, and worked at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. And until she opened her mouth, to be honest, you don't know if she's Puerto Rican, Dominican, Indian. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't know until she said something, because that's the spectrum of original people on the planet Earth, period. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, celebrating that and like, you know, trying to tie that Pan-Africanism in it, but also maintain that, you know, Black American culture, you know, and sort of bridge that gap. And also just celebrate women in general, but mothers specifically, that hold it down in that way, man. You know, that was a very important song for me, always has been.
Yeah, man. Yes.
You know, you're one of the champions of that song, you know what I'm saying? You bring that song up. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. You know, I'm trying to do my best every day to advocate, you know, for these people who oftentimes go underappreciated in our lives, and like, yo, you know, and we live in a world that like normalizes disrespecting them like in a way I don't really see with other groups of folk, you know what I mean? And
culture, man. It's a real issue.
For sure, bro. For sure. So yeah, man, it's a great record, as I've said before, man. My wife loves that record too, and so you know, it's yeah, bro. Salute to you, man. Just for doing everything you do, you know.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot.
Yeah. Last thing I say, because I know you got to get back on the road. You and I, another thing we have in common, man, is, you know, we're both educators and stuff. We both had that in our background, and you know, when we talk about things that I think a lot of people don't realize is super common in hip hop, especially in the indie like / underground hip hop world, and even a few mainstream rappers too, through our history, is the fact that a lot of us are teachers or former teachers. And so, yeah, man. So can you speak a little bit to that? Like, how did you end up working in education, and how that has informed your you know, your career in terms of writing songs and choosing what to write about, you know?
So, like I said, I got you know, my first single came out my sophomore year of college with a producer that I met through a high school internship. You know what I'm saying? So starting there, By the time I, was ready to graduate from SUNY Albany in class of '98, I had a major label deal with Payday Records. The same label as J. Rue and Showbiz and AG and OC. So my record was slated to come out the summer after my graduation, or even before then. So I'd set things up to do an independent study and be able to tour and still walk on time. You know what I'm saying? And, again, big fish, little fish, corporate mergers, corporate takeovers. Next thing you know, I'm in a distribution situation without a label because the label and the distributor had split ways. So, here you go now. I have this record that's called the greatest record I've never heard because it got shelved because of the corporate mergers and whatnot. And it's like, all right, well, what are we gonna do now that I've graduated with a bachelor's in English? I'd set it up through the gods, through the 5%. One of my brothers was like, all right, come teach in the school in Brownsville. So, you know what I'm saying? Here I am, fresh out of college, teaching 7th grade language arts in a school that was, basically on the chopping block in what they call the Chancellor's District because it was a failing school. And, you know what I'm saying? They were like, if you could teach here, you could teach anywhere. And that bore fruit because it was rough, man. We're talking 1998, Brownsville, Brooklyn. There was a lot going on back then. You know what I'm saying? So suffice it to say, I taught for 3 years in Brooklyn and Brownsville and in Bushwick. And during that time, I'm still, chugging along as an artist. But then, around the time All of the Above came out, 2002, I was back to doing music full time. But that experience, those years as an educator, had pretty much shaped my whole, shifted my whole worldview just in terms of being able to connect with the students, being in the same position as a student when I was in 7th grade, teaching these students in 7th grade, to the point where, like, my first album, the intro, I'm kicking a rhyme. There's a skit where it's like one of my students is reciting a rhyme that I wrote when I was in 7th grade. And he's basically playing me on the intro to my first album. You know what I'm saying? So then, that just stuck with me, man. And over the course of the years, whether it be through workshops, speaking events, and what have you, I've always, kept that arm in terms of being active in education. And now, like, the way so many of my contemporaries, like you said, like we just did a show, like I said, with Queen Heroin of the Juggernauts, the whole Juggernauts, all of them are teachers. You know what I'm saying? Where I rest now in Charleston, South Carolina, I work with brothers like Spectac, and then so many educators, man. People I don't even really know that well, but I just know over the years, like the legend of like the Far Ride, artists like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Asher Roof from Unspoken Herd, artists like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just the list goes on and on and on and on. I think because a lot of times, just being able to conduct yourself in a classroom is a lot like being able to conduct yourself on stage. Being able to, you want to have a captive audience. You want to be engaging. You want to make sure that everyone feels like you're participating with them. Like, how when you're on stage, you work the crowd and you make eye contact with as many listeners as possible. Yeah. And you don't stare at one person the whole time, but you work in the crowd. It's the same in a classroom. You want to give every student the opportunity to know that you're talking directly to them. You know what I'm saying? So all these things translate. Songwriting versus teaching language arts. I mean, all of the literary tools, all of the structure and outline of things when it comes to writing, all of those are in play. And then also having that deep knowledge of hip hop, culturally and musically and artistically, and being able to relate to the music that they're listening to in real time is a huge way to connect with your students, regardless of what kind of music or what kind of background your students are. So, that it was definitely an invaluable experience for my career as an artist, and vice versa. My artistry has been an invaluable asset to me as an educator.
Yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, J Live, y'all. Yeah, man. Hey, Yeah, nah, bro. It's my pleasure, man.
My voice is cracking because I'm on tour and I'm rapping my butt off and going to
Right.
sleep late. So that's just how it goes. But I
Yeah.
appreciate
Nah, I appreciate you too, man. To everybody watching, especially those of you in the DMV, make sure y'all come out next week. Catch us at Crescendo Studios in Falls Church, Virginia.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be a great night. We still got a few VIP passes available. That VIP pass will get you meet and greet with me and Jay Live, signed posters, stickers, etc. So yo, come out. It's gonna be a great show. Yeah, I was about to say we got DJ RBI spinning, and I just confirmed that we're gonna have like this kind of round robin, so to speak. Shout out to Q&5 Music in the building right now. Something that I learned from our old shows, where because we got so many homies in the area, we got a lot of dope artists that's coming through, rocking with RBI, just hitting one song a piece, leading up to the show, and so. Early Birds joining us, Prowess the Testament, Cult Fiction, C's Mics, and Impulse. You know what I mean? So, y'all, it's gonna be a great night, y'all. From 7 to 10 p.m. So you can get out. Still got time to hit a bar somewhere. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. But yo, thank you again, brother. Appreciate you, man. You know what I mean?
Smile. Okay.
All right.
That's good.
All right, brother. Have a good one, man. All right, we're gonna let J Live hit the road. But yo, man, appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. We are not done yet. We got more show to keep going. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. And let's get into these updates before we get out of here. All right. Once again, thank you to J Live. Safe travels to my bro. And let's get into the next order of business. All right. Okay, so a couple quick reminders. Hold on, a couple quick reminders that we have one prize out right now from me and Marcus D. Man, that is the first single from the upcoming album, Masters of the Artistry. Definitely check it out if you haven't. We're on our way to passing 20,000 streams on Spotify across all platforms. It's getting a lot of love, and I thank y'all for that, man. I wanted to do a giveaway today too. You know what I mean? But before we do that, quick reminder: if you have not done a super chat yet, still got time to do it. We are trying to get 5 super chats. Doesn't matter how much, or could be a lot or a little, whatever is. Whatever you're comfortable with. But if we hit 5 today, we will hear a new song from Bob Alloy. And then also, if you are interested in winning, one of these shirts that I got over here, and I'll show you what they are in a second. But let me not get your hopes up first. Let me just tell you this. I only got 3 sizes, okay? I got a small, I got a 2X, and I got a 3X. That's all that's left, right? And these shirts will not be available again until the fall. So if you want to get one of the original Bob Alloy shirts from our LA gig, which I'm about to talk about in a second, these Master of the Artistry joints, you need to go ahead and contribute and then let me know. All right. Had a little technical issue, but we are good. But yeah, man. Thank y'all so much. Hey, real quick, hold up. Shout out to the fam, all contributors contributing. Thank you, Sal. Thank you, Happy Mochi. We are 2 super chats away. But yeah, in the chat, let me know. Yeah, Warpath, it did freeze for a second, but we should be good. Yep. I heard one prize and my ears perked up like prize. So again, I do have a prize for y'all. What I need you to do though is, if you haven't already, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, And then in the chat, let me know your sizes. Let me know your sizes, right? Because I don't have a lot of these left. I literally got 3. I got a small, I got a 2X and a 3X. But this is what the shirt looks like on the front. The color's, it's called like Bone Natural or something like that. That's the front. And then there's the glorious back. Flames. All right. But yeah, man, and these are the only 3 left. We did a small run of these exclusively for the LA show, which we're about to talk about. All right, cool. All right. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to bring J Live back for 1 quick second because I know it kind of got cut abruptly. Let's see. XL, but I still rock a 2X. All right, Warpath, I got you. All right. So Warpath, I got you. You were the first person to contribute today, so I definitely got you on that. I'm going to put that 2X to the side for you, brother. The 2X is claimed. Colin, all I got left is a small or a 3X. That is all we're working with now. All right. But real quick, small, Sal, you have contributed as well, sir. I got you too. So our small is claimed. Shout out to the super supporters here, man, who always support. Now I just need to know. I need to know if we got a 3X in the building. You know what I mean? And I will point out that these are Bella Canvas shirts, so they are typically like slim fit. You know what I mean? They are slim fit. So that being said, Colin, I don't know how big you are, you know what I'm saying? But like if you a big dude, man, this 3X probably will still fit like a 2X because, for example, when I wear these, I'm typically rocking a extra large, you know? All right, Colin, I got you. So all 3 shirts are claimed. All 3 shirts are claimed. I need to grab me a marker just so I can mark. Matter of fact, this is what you're going to do. Colin, I need you to Colin, Sal, and also Warpath. What I need y'all to do is to shoot me an email through the website. Go to iamsubstantial.com. Go to the contact page. I'm going to give you the link right now. So y'all shoot me the message today, and then the shirts will be in the mail. All right. Yep, J Live, thank you, brother. J Live says, just want to say my proper goodbye since I got cut off. Peace. Thanks for having me. See y'all in VA on August 1st. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. And sorry for the technical issue, bro. But yeah, we'll definitely debrief later. I'll definitely be checking in with you over the weekend. All right. But yeah, thank you again to our special guest, J Live. So let's talk about LA for a second, y'all. Man, oh man. So thank you to everybody that came out. Let me grab this because I know I'm gonna forget. All right. But yeah, man, thank you to everybody who came out to the show. We had an amazing time. Hold on, writing these names down so I don't forget. We got Colin, and then I think Warpath, and then we got Sal. All right, so Sal, Warpath, Colin, y'all make sure y'all email me today, and then those will be sent to y'all. All right, thank y'all, man, for always being super supportive of the channel. Let's see. I have to head out now. Thanks to everyone for the warm welcome. Excited for the August 1st event. Looking forward to seeing you there, man. All right. Hope you enjoyed your time in my home city. So, yo, Chicago was super dope. I know we didn't get to really talk. Let's talk about both of them. All right, let's talk about both. So we'll start with Chicago, and then we'll talk about LA as well. So Chicago was the first time that me and my band have had an opportunity to perform outside of just the Mid-Atlantic region, and then also up north in New York. Like, we mostly have done shows in the DMV area and stuff. And so that was an amazing experience, man, to get the rock in Chicago. We did have a lot of technical issues and stuff because most of the places we performed at didn't have a backline. So we had to bring almost everything to these shows. But the first event we did in Chicago was at the Juvenile Detention Center in Cooks County and stuff, working with some young people there. Got to not only perform for them and talk to them, but also got to hear some of their amazing art as well too. So we got to hear some of their original songs. Shout out to DJ RBI. Shout out to Stephanie Gale. Shout out to Lizzie Blue. Shout out to Jonathan Smalls, and of course AJ Rios as well. Man, Chicago was just a really, really dope time, man. And so we spent some time there, and then after that, like, you know, we got to break bread. Chicago's a great place to grab food, man. We grabbed some deep dish pizza and stuff, man, and hung out and just, you know, just building, man. Like the camaraderie was just dope. It was dope, man. Like these last 2 shows I've done, like, you know, I've said multiple times to the band, I was like, man, it was core memory stuff, fam. Like, really, really good times and stuff, man. LA as well. LA was like core memory. These weren't just like another show. Like, it felt like really, really special. So then the following day in Chicago, you know, we had our big show that evening at the Argyle Night Market. But before that, we were at this small venue down the street from there, Hapayo. I feel like I might be mispronouncing the name, but shout out to DJ Elokari, man, who always brings me out to Chicago and stuff. First time I ever headlined a show in Chicago was because of DJ Elokari, who I met in Japan, because of the More Bark, Less Biting tour that I did with Mega Ran, K Murdoch, and Marcus D. So anyway, man, we Habayo, that's how you say it. We were at Habayo earlier that day, working with 4 young people. See if I can still remember their names. Makai. One young man's name was Makai Daoud. I forget how you say the one girl's name. Was it? It wasn't Katrina. It was like, it was something with a K, I feel like, and then I forget the other young lady's name. I spent probably the most time with the 2 young boys because they were hanging with us at our show later that night down the street. But yo, we did like a songwriting workshop with them. We did a brief performance, and then we, you know, took pictures, signed stuff for them, and then we did this really dope writing workshop with them where they got to come up with the theme, and then I basically helped them like develop it further. Like, you know, basically, you know, you use your senses or whatever, right? Come up with your theme and then think about what you see when you think of that theme. What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you hear? What do you feel? And just start from there. And once they write those general ideas down, then they start to develop the lyrics from there. And after they get some basic ideas down for their lyrics, they basically went to Steph and Lizzie, and they started to develop like the melody, find the rhythm for it. And then like RBI, Jonathan, and AJ, they basically built the beat around them, and they made 4 songs on the spot, like within like a 2-hour period with a live band. Yo, it was fire, man. Like, it was fire. Of course, we got some great food, man. Got some Vietnamese food, some Bombi, I think is how you say it. The sandwiches and stuff, man. Like, yeah, yo, Chicago was amazing. Chicago was amazing. And then the final performance at the Argyle Night Market, the opening performance was super dope. Yo, shout out to the audience, man. There was so much love in the crowd and stuff. It was a diverse crowd, young, old, Black, Asian, white, Latino. Yeah, it was just dope, man. It was a really good time. What was crazy too is like, in Chicago that same night in a different part of town, there was a shooting, and I think like 18 people were shot at an event. 3 or 4, I think, ended up dying, something like that. It was crazy. It was at like some event. It was like a album release party type of thing, and there was this big shooting that happened, and yeah, man, it was super sad. Like, we found out about that on our way to the airport, leaving Chicago the same day. And anytime I'm in Chicago, like any major city, you know, all of these places have their issues and stuff. But I remind people all the time. I was like, yo, while things like that are sad, and it might happen more frequently in some places than it does in other places, but yo, I'm just counting on my blessings that all the different times I've been there, that's never my experience. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that these things don't happen and that it doesn't exist, but I always try to remind people when I visit these places, just like when I went to LA, fam, whole time I was there, I was surrounded by so much love. And I feel like not enough gets said about how great the people are. Like, we push these other narratives about these cities all the time. And as a guest in these cities, you know, somebody who doesn't live there, and I've been blessed enough to pass through more than a few times, which also teaches you, like, yeah, you know where you ain't got no business being either. You know what I'm saying? But I also recognize too, man, the importance of how you walk in this world too, like what path you're on, and understanding that like everything I do is led with love, man, and positivity for the most part. Doesn't mean I don't have my challenges and I don't deal with any negativity whatsoever. I absolutely do, like anyone else. But I think a lot of who I am and who I choose to spend my time with, oftentimes, you know, I'm grateful, has kept me safe for the most part in my older years. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, shout out to the amazing city of Chicago. Shout out to El Okari, you know, Stomping Grounds, and everyone else who contributed and made for an amazing time while we were there. And also shout out to my band, the Sons Hughes, man, love y'all. But yeah, let's go to these comments and then we'll talk about LA real quick. It was dope seeing you and your band in person. Pro tip, next time you're there, try the Italian beef if you have it. I don't eat beef. I haven't had beef since I was like 18. So I'll be sure to let the band know, for those of them that do, so they can tell me how great it is. Hope that girl that fainted here in LA was okay after the show. All right. So we'll talk about that in a second. Love the crowd energy too. It was great vibes indeed. That's sick. My bad. I forgot you're Presbyterian. Disregard that one comment. You're good, bro. But yeah, man. So let's talk about LA. So LA was last week, and obviously y'all have all noticed that I haven't been doing a ton of lives. It's partly because the last few weeks in a row, my travel day has been on a Friday, and like literally I'm in the air at the time that like we would normally do this, so I wasn't able to do it. And then I think one of the weeks, like, it was like probably one of the more stressful days I had in a minute. And it was partly because we were trying to make arrangements, because not only am I, you know, performing at these places, but oftentimes, you know, I'm taking the lead on kind of making sure that the arrangements are put in place, and or at least handling my side of it, and just trying to jump through a lot of hoops to make sure that everything goes off well. So one of the weeks in particular was like a really, really rough week trying to get all that together. Plus, on top of that, got events and stuff that I'm doing here with the organization Words, Beats, and Life, which, by the way, if all of y'all refresh the video, you should see the fundraiser there, you know, for Words, Beats, and Life. We're at $310 raised. So feel free to contribute there if you can. No pressure. Anything you contribute to our organization is greatly appreciated. In a second, I'm going to tell you about an event we got going on tomorrow, this Saturday. So we'll talk about that DMV made in a second. But right now, LA. So LA is the first time me and Marcus D have performed in the United States together since 2019. And the last time we did that was in LA. What was crazy is the bill was almost identical too. It was us, Nitsuwa again, as well as some of Nitsuwa's band that he had with him are members of the band Apollo Bebop, which include the homie Brian the Earth, who also was there snapping pictures and rapping his ass off, as he tends to do. So, yo, it was a great night, man. It was a great night. We debuted these shirts that I'm gifting to 3 of y'all, as well as we also performed 3 new songs. One of them was One Prize, which I just had up on the screen a second ago. But then we also performed, or I should say I performed the song that we got with Blue on our new album, Masters of the Artistry. The song is called Audio Sunshine. And then I was trying to perform. I actually was thinking about not performing it because, it was an emotional night, man. Like, I was shedding real tears on stage. And we'll talk about one of the other, like, emotional / serious moments that happened that night in a second. But yeah, man, there's a song that we have on the album called The Last Song I'll Ever Write. It's on the new Bop Alloy record and features Uyama Hiroto. And yeah, man, I was deciding at the last minute to kind of maybe not do it. And the audience really kind of pushed me to be like, nah, like, we want to hear it. You should share it, blah, blah, blah. So I started to do it a cappella and was breaking up, man. I was all my homies that came through that night was saying, they were like, yeah, bro, you were doing a lot of preaching tonight, man. It was beautiful. Yeah, yo, it was a great night, a really, really great night. And if you were there, thank you so much for being a part of it, man. Wouldn't have been the same without y'all. And but yeah, one of the crazy moments that happened during the show was a young lady. Her name is May. She passed out while we were performing. I think we were doing No Turning Back 2.0, and I see a young lady like falling, and like someone, like, people trying to catch her and lay her down. And that's when I told Marcus to stop the beat. And yeah, man, like, shout out to, it was like, I think 4 different people who were there that night were nurses. So they came to her aid, as well as staff members. Shout out to the Peppermint Club as well, came to her aid. And EMS was called. We were right across the street from a hospital, so people came in and did what they could to help her. Was able to get her on her feet. She apologized, was still making jokes, was the sweetest thing ever. She basically was like, you were so good, I passed out. And I was like, what's crazy is another person said something similar to me. They were like, yo, you were so good, she fainted. And I made the joke afterwards. I was like, yo, I never want to be that good. Because it's scary in real time, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm grateful she was okay when she left. So update on May. After the show, I think the following day when I was traveling back to Philly, well, not back to Philly, I had to go to Philly when I left there to link up with the family, because I took my kids and my wife and we all went to Hershey Park. And so I see a post from a young lady, and I see the name says May May, and I remember that the woman who passed out name was May. So I DM'd her. I was like, hey, sorry to bother you. Just wanted to know if you're the same May who passed out at the show last night. Just checking to make sure you're okay. She's like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Yes, I'm. I laugh a little bit, of course, but I was like, nah, it's cool. I just, so you don't have to be embarrassed. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. That's it. We were literally praying for you, hoping that you were all right. And, it's just good to know that you're okay. You know what I mean? And she was like, hey, thank you so much. And yeah, so it was good. That was another highlight, right? Knowing that even in that moment, that, things turned out okay and she was all right. And she wasn't the, had a taste of the mic. Yo, that's funny. Oh man, I'll put that up on the screen. Yo, you're hilarious, Colin. But yeah, man, it was crazy. It was a crazy night. Of course, I got into a lot of the older stuff too. Did a lot of my songs with Nujabes. Did a lot of classic Bop Alloy stuff, and yeah, man, did some new stuff, and it was great. It was just a really, really great night, and I can't thank y'all enough for being there, being present with us. Which reminds me that because we hit our goal today, I'm gonna make sure that before beforehand, before I move on, I should say, I'm gonna play this song for y'all from the Bop Alloy album. So I was just talking about the song and how how hard it was for me to do the song. So let's see if we can try it out right now. I think this is the right version. Let's download it and see. And let's switch this out. Check 1 2. Check. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm about to play. I got you. Let's see. Just want to make sure. Hold on. Yeah, man. And shout out to those of you being patient, still sticking around and stuff, man. I know today's been a long show, but I'm grateful. Yeah, this is the right one. All right. So listen. I need the whole set from LA. Hey, fam. I think I might have been on stage in LA for 90 minutes, maybe. Like the set was supposed to be an hour, but when the young lady passed out, that added maybe another at least 20 minutes to our set time that we were on stage. Of course, I'm not complaining. Just, you know, we didn't get off the stage. Like we literally came to the side of the stage and was just kind of kneeled down, just trying to, you know, make sure she was okay. So, yeah, man, it was a scary moment in real time when it happened. But anyway, it's 3 of you here now. Let me play this song before no one's here, especially considering that y'all contribute to the live today so we can hear it. So let's get into it. But this song right here is called The Last Song I'll Ever Write. All right. It's from the new Bop Alloy album. Thank y'all for contributing today. So let's hear that, and then we'll get into these announcements. Shout out from the UK. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Also, shout out to Funky DL. Talked to him on the phone yesterday while I was with one of my students. It was super cool hearing from my bro. All right, let's hit play and see if this is coming through. Oh yeah, I know what I need to do. Little technical stuff happening. All right. Okay, let's hit play and see if we're good. Okay. New Bop Alloy. Little Substantial Weekly exclusive. Featuring Uyama Hiroto. Yeah. I'm just trying to make this world a little better for us. Add value when I'm present till they can't afford us. Made something out of nothing and I never quit. Give somebody baby chances I ain't get. Say I love you daily and be kind to you and the others, but sometimes we need reminding too. Always lead with love and follow our heart, and know that where we end is rarely the place that we start. So if it's the last song I ever write, I pray that my words have been a guiding light. And if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspires something great. And if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. And if it's the last song we ever do, at least we tried to make something beautiful. We here now and I'm proud of how the journey going. See me growing, please know that you've been a key component of significant. Yeah, my bad. So what I was saying is I had to pause it for a second because I don't think that's the right version. So like, cause I want to make sure y'all hear the version that actually has Uyama on it. So my bad, my bad. I got you. So let me hit play on this version. I think this is, hold up. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Just be patient. Just, you know what I mean? We just gotta make sure I'm doing it right. Do it right. So hold on, my youth. Let's see. All right, got that. Yes. That looks right. Wait for it. Hold up. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. So many, we got so many folders with so many updated tracks from the album. Here we go. I think I got it. No, not that version. Hold up. Hola. Yeah, see, I was playing the wrong version of it. All right, hold up. Damn, Marcus. Yo, hey, bro, we got to clean this folder up, Mark. I'm looking at this joint like, Jesus, man. There's so many joints in here. Let's see. That is the old version. Boom. Nah. He's not playing flute on the joint. He's actually playing tenor saxophone on it. That's how I knew something was missing. I was like, I don't think this is the right one. But I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play this rough mix joint. And that's what we'll do. Boom. Got it. All right, here we go. Let's see.
If it's the last time that pray that my word come to keep it. Pray I showed you that our skin color.
Hey, yo, this is making me, hold up. This is making me frustrated because we got to find the right version. I can't let you hear no more till I find the right version. So y'all be patient. I got you. You know what I mean? Just know that you waiting in this moment will all be worth it. All be worth it. Hold up. Boom. I think this is it. Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. We are in there. I found the right version because he sent it to me via email instead of putting it in our normal shared folder. Here we go. Let's double check, make sure it's proper. Yes. All right. Here we go.
I'm just trying to make this world a little better for us. Add value when I'm present till they can't afford us. Made something out of nothing and I never quit. Give somebody baby chances I ain't get. Say I love you daily and be kind to you and the others, but sometimes we need reminded too. Always lead with love and follow our heart, and know that where we end is rarely the place that we start. So if it's the last song I ever write, I pray that my words have been a guiding light. And if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspires something great. And if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. And if it's the last song we ever do, at least we try to make something beautiful. We here now and I'm proud of how the journey going. See me growing, please know that you've been a key component of significant moments that help me boost my focus, to use my time to lift up others when they're at their lowest. Sometimes I fell short trying to be what I needed, projecting my anxieties, their message when unheeded. Trying to learn these lessons so there's no need to repeat it. So if you catch a gem I'm dropping, you're welcome to keep it. Pray I showed you that our skin color don't come with limits, and you could build a brand that stands without the use of gimmicks, and you could build a base of fans with more than your appearance, but with integrity, respect, love, and perseverance. Never been a perfect parent, but I'm always present, always working hard to ensure our best is what they inherit. Plenty good in both my girls, most important work I put in this world, watching the futures unfurl. But please know, if it's the last song I ever write, I pray that my words have been the guiding light. And if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspires something great. And if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. And if it's the last song we ever do, At least we tried to make something beautiful.
Man, yeah, I'm gonna stop it there because even though there is more, I want y'all to have something for when the album comes out. You know what I mean? But yo, like that song, man. Yeah, that song right there, yo. Yeah, it's definitely. I can tell you now. I know that touring, trying to do that song every night is not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy because. Every time it plays, man, like every time it plays, like I knew it once I decided, like I heard the music and the music was slightly different. For the most part, the core of it is still there. And Marcus made some changes to it, but the basics are still there. I knew, I was like, yeah, bro, this is how we gonna end it. How we gonna end this record. Yeah, thank you, Tone, man. Good to see you still up in this joint. Shout out to my brothers, man. Shout out to Q15 Music, all the fam, man. But yeah, man. It was like I knew I was like, just really thinking about like where I am in my career, where I am in my life, and thinking about like, yo, if this is it, and I don't think it will be. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm going into the day thinking like, well. You know what I mean? That's not how I start my day, right? But being realistic about the fact that like, yo, everything we do, anything we do could be the last. Could be the last time we do that thing. And although I don't do everything in my life with that weight on me every time, I think I am more conscious of that now. At this age than I've ever been. And that's partly because I'm literally the same age my father was when he passed away. So the weight of walking around with that is a lot already. But yo, it's just realizing that, shout out to Tone, man, who always talks about like how prolific I am in terms of writing and how many albums I've put out over the years. He was joking about it yesterday. And yeah, man, it's knowing that someday when I finish writing a song, that's going to be the last one. That's a crazy thing to realize, man. Like, and so I think being somewhat aware of that just makes you, avoid bullshitting, right? Like just really just like, man, let me put as much as I can into this. And sometimes that doesn't mean making it like the most complicated thing in the world or always trying to be like groundbreaking and stuff. Sometimes it's just like let me just be really honest. Right. And, yeah, man. And it's, like writing that joint, thinking about like what you hope for, like what you hope your legacy is when this is all said and done. What your impact is on everybody you've come in contact with. The good and the bad, right? Hoping that, you'll get a chance to kind of redeem yourself for those times you fell short. And for those times that you gave it your all, really hoping that was enough. So yeah, man, just like ending the record with that. And especially with this being our third album and, like we're still talking about doing more music, but like the idea that like, damn, what if this is it, man? Like, what if this is our last joint? Well, shit, let's make it glorious, man. You know what I mean? Let's just make it a beautiful record. Let's make it a great album. And I'm really proud of this new album. We're still putting a little bit of final touches on it. Me and Marcus got a tour in China in September, but I may be with him briefly before or after. To maybe like put some final touches on some things because we're super behind schedule at this point. But, the hope is to get it done before I get out there so we can focus on other things. But we may need to when we get there. But yeah, it's a great record, man. Shout out to Tone who's here. Love you too, bro. Love you too, man. He heard a lot of the record and stuff. And, Tone does not impress easy. And he seemed like he was enjoying the record. So, that's a great sign to say the least. Playing that song before every last bite. Word, man. We get more appreciative of life and the things we love. Even if that day comes, if it ever does, life blessed us, and hopefully we gave something back to it and someone else. Indeed, man. Thank you, Joshua. Means a lot, man. Love you lots, brother, and lots of love for Marcus also. 1000%, man. It's amazing to have conduits like yourself who can put this struggle and experience into words for every stage of life. You make life music, and it's beautiful. Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Man, I've had some great people around me, bro. And you know, I've told you this a million times, man. You know, I'm grateful for, of course, you and so many different artists over the years, and just the people in general, man, who I come across who pour into me and, you know, just basically want to see me be better. You know what I mean? And I think all artists, we tend to be stubborn and don't receive that well, like a lot of times. But I've tried to do my best to humble myself over the years and really take to heart like the critiques that my peers, people who I think are amazing. Like, why would I look somebody in the face and say, yo, you're super dope, and then that same person look me in my face and be like, yeah, you are as well. Now about that song, that one, you know, you had maybe, you know, hey, that rhyme, you just maybe, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and man, I'm grateful. You know what I mean? I'm really grateful for the different people who've contributed that way over my career and stuff. Like, anybody that's ever talked to me about like how they've, you know, Wordsworth just said this to me the other day, man. Oh, shout out to Wordsworth, one of the greatest to ever do it, one of the greatest to ever pick up a pen and write a rhyme, period. You know, he has a really great interview that he did with Tone that I enjoy watching, man. I highly recommend y'all check it out. His podcast is called What Are Words Worth? The interview with Tone Deaf is really, really dope. And I was just, you know, on there checking it out, man, showing them love. And then Words invited me to do an episode as well. That's coming out eventually. And I talked a lot about, like, man, the things I learned from like Tone Deaf, the things I learned from watching Words do what he does, the things I learned from Kokai. You know, me using my singing voice more on record, how like the first person, of course, Nujabes kind of encouraged me to get a little more comfortable with it when we did If I Was Your Mic, which ain't the greatest representation of me doing that, but it was the beginning of that, really. And then of course, like Flo Brown, someone who, like, I don't know where she's at nowadays, man, but she was so dope. But you know, she's another person who encouraged me to use my singing voice more. And you know, J Soul, who makes sure he makes fun of me every time I do. And yo, I'm just grateful, fam. Like, I'm grateful because everyone's trying to help me grow. And I think I've been receptive to it for the most part, more times than not. But I know like everybody, we fall short sometimes. And yo, I'm just trying to do what I can to honor that, while also like doing what I can to pour back into them and hopefully help them grow in different ways too, whether it's through this music or it's through, you know, just, you know, talking life stuff, man, and just getting better, bro. Like that's it. You know what I mean? I think, you know, just dedicating our life in a serious way to actual progress, you know, in our lives, in the world around us and all of that, you know what I mean? So, man, I thank y'all. All right, let me get into this other stuff for y'all had me in this joint. And another thing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to pull it together, you know what I mean? Because I'm definitely a dude that don't mind getting a little soggy in the face, a little, probably a pause. Hate you in advance, Tone. But yeah, I don't mind crying, man. You know what I mean? So, but I'm going to keep it pushing before we be here for 3 hours. All right. All right, let's get this back up on the screen. So also out right now, Adultish 2.0, available on all platforms for your streaming pleasure. If you haven't heard the awesome remixes that were done by AJ Rios, by J Soul, by Oh my God, trying to remember everybody's name off the top of my head. Also got dope remixes from my bro Kokai, K Murdoch as well. And shout out to make sure I say this brother name right, man, because he one of the folks in our community, so I don't want to butcher the joint. And it's funny because he did the most popular remix on the project, so I definitely want to make sure I say it right. Hold on. Yeah, Jimmy HD, man. Shout out to Jimmy HD who killed it on his remix too. So super shout out to everybody involved with the project. But let's keep it moving. I know somebody was gonna get me, hey yo, but we appreciate the knowledge and sharing of the other amazing artists. Yeah, 1000%, man. All right. Next slide. Boom. So real quick, tomorrow, it's crazy, it's here already. The second annual DMV Made presented by Words Beats and Life is happening on the National Mall. So we have 3 plots of land, 3 plots of grass on the National Mall that will be taken over by Words Beats and Life, with performances all day long from noon all the way to 7 p.m. EU featuring Sugar Bear. We got Navasha Daya, Kamal, who I'm about to interview after I'm done with this. Oh He Dead, super dope as well. Kamal, all of these artists are amazing if you're not familiar. Black Folks Don't Swim, a really dope band from the area. And the Mesthetics and the homie A1 all rocking tomorrow. We got concerts happening. We got live art happening out there, mural painting, like floral art, there we go, as well as workshops and activities like sports activities. All of these different things are happening tomorrow. We're celebrating culture and wellness. It's absolutely free, costs you nothing but time. So if you're in the DC area, if you're in Washington DC tomorrow or surrounding areas, make sure you come out to check out this event happening Saturday, July 26th on the National Mall. All right, go to WBLinc.org/DMV Made so you can go ahead and register. It's 100% free. All right, let's keep it going. And once again, next week, grab your tickets for me and Jay live at Crescendo Studios, performing with DJ RBI as well as others. Let's make sure these tickets are on here. And I need to make sure I add them to the description of this video as well. But go ahead, grab your tickets if you haven't already. I'll be sure to pin this so if anybody watches this later, you don't miss it. Hey, man, Tone, thank you so much, bro. You know what I mean? Every little bit helps, you know what I mean? That 99 cents is going to keep me off the polls this weekend. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that, because nobody want to see that. Nobody want to see that. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody, auntie or grandma might want to see it, but I don't want to do it. So thank you, sir. All right, let's keep it going. So outside of that, I think the week after that, we also got, hold on, what's next week? Oh, yeah, the week after that, August 8th through the 10th is Otakon. And you can catch me and Substantial Art and Music doing our Sketchpads events. When we do Sketchpads at Otakon going forward, at the scale that we do it at Otakon, we refer to it as Super Sketchpads because we basically are doing Sketchpads 12 times over 3 days, with free art supplies being given out, as well as 10 tables set up in our artist alley with little caddies with art supplies for you to use while you sketch your favorite cosplayers. And also, come over to the table, say what's up to me, purchase some merch while we keep some dope instrumentals playing from local producers, as well as dope visual art being drawn by local artists, all of which, or at least most of which, will be stationed in Artist Alley for you to support if you'd like. So, man, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. You got to come through. I'm glad y'all appreciate that auntie joke. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you something I said to one of my students or whatever. She said something trying to make fun of me or whatever. She said something slick because I took my hat off and she saw I had hair. She was like, "Oh, I just assumed you were bald. You give bald head energy." I was like, man, in my mind, I was like, I will fight this kid right here, right now. I'm like, don't you ever disrespect me like that in your life. It's like bald head energy. What does that even mean? I don't know what it means. I don't even know if it's bad, but it felt disrespectful. And so then she said something else. It was like, she had said something else after that, and to which I replied, I'm like, hey, listen, you know, I ain't in here worried about if kids think I'm attractive. I'm sure your auntie think I'm cute though. She ain't like that too much, boy. All the kids bust out laughing. She ain't like that at all. She's like, stop playing with me, Mr. Rouse. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure your auntie, your mama probably think I'm cute too. So, you know, you better stop playing with me. Stop playing. That's where I stopped myself because, you know, me outside of work and my jokes, I'm definitely a habitual line stepper. Let's see how far we can take this joke. It's like battle rap, son. It's like, how can I turn this, just let this line keep compounding, right? But yeah, she ain't like that shit too much. Anyway, started fights with children. I mean, y'all, she was, listen. It hurt just a little bit. I was like, bald head energy. I don't even know what that means. But I ain't like it. Sketch pads always look like dope events from what I've seen. Man, they're always a great time. Always a great time. But fact, some of these kids got comebacks. They do. Absolutely. Yeah, man. They called me a gold medalist in instigating, so don't get me started. I feel you, man. You guys doing an event at Anime NYC again? Nah, not this year. I am possibly. I haven't got confirmation yet, but there is a slight chance that I may be at NYC Comic Con. Shout out to those of you in Cali going to Comic Con this weekend too, man, out in San Diego. So jealous of y'all. It's on my list of, pardon me, it's a bucket list thing for me. Definitely plan to go someday, but unfortunately I can't make it this year. And it looks like I'm probably not going to be at Anime NYC this year. But it is a goal to get back up there at some point. Thank you for asking. But I think that is everything for today, fam. Let me just confirm. Yeah, that is it. So, yo, man, thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to J Live for making an appearance on the show. Sorry for the abruptness in which how it ended today. But shout out to him, man, for coming through and blessing us with his presence. Be sure to come out. Grab your tickets if you haven't already. You know, hey, man, we've been doing this a long time, and there's no telling how much longer we're going to be doing this. So when you get the opportunity to come out and support our shows, please do. You know what I mean? It means a lot. You know, we don't have a whole machine behind us making these shows happen. It's usually us coming out of pocket to provide y'all with the opportunity to come out and support what we do and hear the songs that you love and actually be able to meet the artists that you love and respect. That's not an opportunity that most people who listen to music actually get blessed with. So when you got the chance to, please come through. Shout out to everyone that came through in Chicago. It was an amazing time, man. Really appreciate y'all. Shout out to everyone who came out in LA as well. And shout out to those of you who plan to be there next week. One of the craziest things that we witnessed at the LA show was one fan drove over 28 hours from Southern Texas to be at the show. Another fan and his lady both told me that they were in a car. There was a car accident with them earlier that day before the show where their car got totaled. And they came to the show anyway. Now, I'm not telling you what to do with y'all lives. I'm not telling you to go to those extremes. But just know that, yo, like when people really make sacrifices to come out, even when maybe it wasn't like the most important thing that they had to do that day, but they find a way to get the other thing done and still make time for us, yo, greatly appreciate that. And that's why if you've been to my events, man, I do my best to make time for everybody that come up, because as a father too, as a husband, as somebody who is deputy director of one organization, co-owner of a business, and then managing my whole music career as well, my time's precious. So like I understand that the people I deal with are making sacrifices to be here with me in these moments. So I try to be as present as possible. So man, it means a lot when y'all come out and support, you know what I mean? And if you can't make it to a show, this show ain't a secret, fam. If you got people in your network that you know rock with us and would enjoy the show, would enjoy the music, please pass the word on, man. Let them know to come out. But tickets are available right now to see me and Jay live, at Crescendo Studios. We hope to see you there. Did I do the thing? I think I started to do the thing, and then I started talking about people aunties. No, I did it. Look at me multitasking. Look at God. So on that note, let me get out of here because I got to prep for this interview I got to do for Words, Beats, and Life. with the homie Kamal. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody. Let's make sure we got all of these comments before we go. Working the convention in San Diego. Let me send you a message later. And maybe we can set something up hey, don't threaten me with a good time. Don't threaten me with a good time, because I will show up. I will cop them tickets ASAP. You know what I mean? So thank you. Ballhead Energy Gang. Oh my God. Yeah, man. It was wild. That student was hilarious, yo. Hey, I know you. Peace. What's going on, Jazz Rock? Thanks for stopping by. All right. In the words of Odyssey, that's love. 1000%. Was great to have another Substantial Weekly after so long. And great to meet you. Great vibes as always. Man, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. All right. Everybody have a great weekend. Threaten me with a good time. Hey, what up? What up, nephew? Peace, chat. How long has it been since the last Substantial Weekly? It has literally been 4 weeks. So it's been a month. A month of Fridays, but we're back. Hey, I'm here for a good time and for everyone to have it too. My man, Sal, hit me up. Let's talk. Let's make sure y'all contact me. Those of you who won the shirts, make sure y'all contact me. I got your 3 shirts here. I'll make sure to get it out before the weekend's out. Or by bare minimum, it will be in the mail by Monday. All right, man. Appreciate y'all so much, man. Thanks for a great show. Feels good to be back. We should be good for next week. I'm gonna try to do better at letting y'all know in advance. But a lot of times, as y'all see, man, like the decision gets made in the final hour, whether or not I'm gonna be able to go live. And that's one of the disadvantages of doing this mostly myself. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for showing up for me when I do come back. So thank y'all. All right. Y'all have an amazing weekend. And it is that time of the show. My youngest daughter's favorite part of the show. The ending, the closeout music. Y'all have a great weekend, man. Be safe, y'all. Peace. Who made it to the end? Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Who made it to the end? Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Yo. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Yo. Subscribe, like, do whatever you like. Stay subscribed, like, do whatever you like. That's right.